Welcome to the Standard Access List Lab. We've got quite a basic network here with two routers. The 192.168.1 network is in the middle, connecting our wide area network. Dot 1 is on the left on router A, and dot 2 address is on the right of router B. Each router's got a loopback 0 interface just so we can do some testing. Loopback 0 is 10.1.1.1/8 on router B, and there's 172.16.1.1 on router A on the left there. Each router has got a static route, so all are zeros, and then it points to the exit interface for the serial. The reason is if we source a ping, which we will in a moment, from loopback 0 from router B to router A will see source traffic from the 10 network, but it doesn't have a route. We're not operating any routing protocols, so it'll just drop the packet. So it's going to give us false information. So first thing you always do is just test a ping, just to make sure your network is working. So I can ping from router A to router B. So router A, what I want to do is deny the 10 network with an access list, and then we'll test it with a ping. So conft, if I type ACC and then tab access list, then I've got a choice of numbers. So access list, because it's a standard access list, it'll need to be for numbers 1 to 99, and then we've got to choose, are we going to permit or deny traffic? Well, we're going to deny. Whoops. You can either deny a host if you type question mark, and I recommend as you do this you always type the question mark and just see what all your options are, because some you'll use, others you use now and again, and some are there but you probably wouldn't realise it because they're very rarely used. So we can deny a host if we just want to deny 10.1.1.1, or we can deny the 10 network just by typing 10.0.0.0. We haven't covered wildcard masks yet, but basically the wildcard mask is the opposite of the subnet mask. So our subnet mask on the loopback 0 and router B is 255. So it's 0.255.255.25. Don't worry about this too much until you've watched the wildcard mask video. The other thing is, remember there's an implicit deny at the end of every access list. So if we don't put in access list 1 permit, and what are we permitting? A network, a host, or anything? Well, we'll permit anything because we don't really care what else works on this lab. So we've added the access list. The other thing is we need to remember is we need to put it somewhere. And as silly as it sounds, the most common mistakes that are made, and I've had to re-record this video actually because I was so busy talking I made the mistake myself, is we need to add this access list somewhere, because the access list needs to be referenced by a NAT pull, or it needs to be referenced by a debug, or it just needs to be applied to an interface or a port. So my interface, my serial, check with your show IP interface brief what yours is. Mine's serial 0/0/0. The way to add it is if you type IP access-group, then the number, and then you choose in or out. Well, we're checking packets coming in. We're not worried about packets going out. So Control and Z. So what we need to do now, in fact, if I do show IP access lists, you'll see our access list is blocking the 10, anything from the 10 network. So 10, and then the 255s mean don't care what comes after. Anything after that, we don't care, it's going to be blocked. Permit anything else, and it's been applied to our serial interface. Right, so let's test a ping. If I ping the 172 loopback from router B to router A, it should work. Yep, that's working fine. But if I do an extended ping, if I type ping and then try the same address, yes to extended commands, I don't think the source interface works on Packet Tracer, so I'm going to source it from the actual address 10.1.1.1. Press enter a couple of times, and there you go. The U's mean it's been blocked by the access list. There you go. Type show IP access list again. 5 pings, 5 matches, 1 for each ping packet that was rejected. So you can see that access list is working. If you're feeling a bit adventurous, or you want to come back and change things up, add another loop back and deny a different network. Or what you could do is instead deny a host, and for example you can deny the host 192.168.1.2 from pinging the loop back, but permit everything else. So this time the loop back from router B should be able to ping to the 172 address, but the serial shouldn't. So that's another way of testing out the lab. So have fun with it, play with it, break it, post some questions if you got them, and learn lots of stuff.